expected of players.
Yeah, they are. Spike plan not being attempted, and Vitality pretty much respecting this, apart from Yampi, who was left alone in lamps, and this is an absolute rout in the pistol round. Just Profek to come back in.
1 versus 5, and the first shot is clean, but he has so much work to do.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, you get a result like you did last week, right? You're obviously going to be feeling a bit of momentum overall, right? BBL from the EMEA kickoff curse that we spoke about yesterday. But as for now, Vitality have a full buy. There's ultimates being sent in. Derka got one, but very quickly it's changed into an Eternal. It's up to the defensive utility. Sayonara aware of the flank, but not aware of the second. So a 2v2 now, favouring Eternal Fire. And with just Profek now to clutch up. Time low, his chances even lower, and he's through
that same high regard, cut from similar cloth. And on this execution, it's that same unwavering self-confidence in every damn duel. Derka bringing the operator out. A chance for them to find their feet. Profek with a Vitality need, but they can't double up.
Same time though.
And in Hookah, a big fight which Profek has to win.
This is a big one versus one. Elsewhere, will Vitality get ready to bust out of CT, try and grab the attention of the main players? Oh my god, the right forward for Eternal Fire!
Vantage is a statement right now. Fantastic flicks from Fabian
Oh my god.
to find Profek. And the guns are doing the talking. You've had a way into any of these rounds, really.
That's the big aspect to it, right? Vitality once again trying to play on the front foot on this defense, and this is the first time that an engagement has really gone their way. Massive pressure on his shoulders, but unfortunately, the barrel being seen and able to get two. A nice round from Vitality.
The crowd in the venue this evening definitely catered more towards the Vitality side, that's safe to say. And this defense now, most of the time, there's not a single controller here though, it's just Chronicle's wall in proxy that's got to help protect the site. Sayonara's second. What is the commitment here from Eternal Fire? It's a long day
in terms of teammates.
But are they expecting Echo? No, they aren't! Up close in spawn, he'll take two and bring it down to a 2-on-2. Wrapping around back in short. Is he still alive here? And Sayonara, a deflection of where Sayonara wants to go. Yet to make the first move, but when the tap comes in, there's a flash to follow it up, and the young gun won't miss. Sayonara with off the back of that.
I have to say though, a lot of chaos, a lot of panic on the Eternal Fire side in terms of how they played this one. The fact that you saw that there was still a Brim ulti in pocket, I thought this feels like miles of a difference to the 9-3. Vitality on the cusp of recovering this slightly.
Super aggro play down the length of short. No scope from Izzy. Does it get better? Seems to be the case for Eternal Fire. Sayonara really running the length of spawn side here to take out Echo. He's popped a pit like an octopus in an ink cloud, looking for any route to escape. The tools to take this down to the wire, and Echo doesn't want to wait. That 9-3 half calling their name. Eternal Fire showing so much dominance in our opener here.
Attack side be much more favourable. We'll find out in that second half.
One enemy.
Turns against what we're seeing here.
Izzy is taking contact on long here, but it is a trap. You've got to be looking towards Fabian in the corner. Not yet known about as the players of Vitality try to escape. It's Izzy's double that really upsets this round. As Fabian gets one of his own. I think this is over before it's even started at this point in time. Double digits for Eternal Fire.
Fabian still with a flash. Izzy's already torn through a couple players. His Ghost, the Tenderizer. And with another pistol lost here.
I mean, it has to be said, Eternal Fire don't have the...
Yampi finds a kill beyond the smoke, and Fabian trying to reinforce that will pay the cost of his own life. Pin them in there by a thread. 2 anchors on this side of the map, and they're charging down the charge. 2 from Echo, and a wall left behind for Neki to play off. Headshot on the first, can't follow. Cross to this triple box. The stun should land at his feet, but he sidesteps into the crosshairs and wins the duel.
It is just a drop. In the larger scheme of things, we need to see Vitality start to join these rounds together, because straight away after winning this round, look at
for punishment. 4 players that can be one-shot by this gun. Sayonara with the run it back though is one of them. Sayonara is walking up supported by Prophet. Chronicle wins his fight, and that alleviates a lot of the issues that they would have had on Shower's side of the site. Neki right through the middle though. Timing was side, so this round counts for a lot, and Eternal Fire want all into it. Sayonara, in fact, popping the ult to try and cause a threat here as the spike diffuse is simply tapped. It brings a couple players out of position. Defuse still happening. Ordas in the meantime. Hands are busy. No one stopped him! A 3v5!
it's a round to win because of the economy, because of the state of the game. Vitality win that. They put Eternal Fire onto an eco cycle. At this moment in time, it's map point against a broken buy.
Fully guarded B site.
Face your fear!
Ultimate pop straight away on the execute. Dirk struggling to get to back sight, but it's Prophet instead who gets the kill. Eternal Fire still here. Coming in.
Yeah, not too much from the double long hold. Echo to interrupt.
Oh, he's gone a little straight. Does Vitality give him the fights?
It's a must-win round for them to stay in the map, and they've just about done it. Eternal Fire with a strong setup there. Prophet does incredibly well to find anything coming out of Hookah.
With that being so clean, they're starting to get going through the motions, right? Izzy though, ready with his operator, misses his shot, not like him, and Dirka getting the better of his opposite number. Still Vitality ready to execute in and to support Vitality. They create a line, a defensive one, or even one.
Echo fancies his chances here though. He'll give this one a go. It's not gonna.
And that's the reason why we're probably going to see the first time out coming through from Afro on Fire. Yeah, it's just not been the greatest kind of defensive.
It looks like it is going to be a B hit.
Yeah, and also we're starting to see Eternal Fire move bodies towards B through the sky of Fabian. It's a good ultimate from Hookah, but it doesn't get anything, it doesn't get a kill, but finally it does with Echo, and that's coming through. Big ultimate value. So the players go for a TP. You can see Izzy
in elbow for now.
Yeah, but Izzy has to retake Vitality. That's the important part. Dirka holding on, and Izzy now all alone. Poor team. Try and stop them from getting a chance. One away from the ulti, but I imagine he doesn't want to take that. He wants to fight. Goes for it.
First slide, perhaps not expecting the peak to come in. He's left, he's right, and he's dead now. A real big let-off, much more difficult to reset into, as this is only the first map in the series so far. Group up in short, Echo strikes first, problems on the horizon, but Sayonara able to react. That's one back for Vitality, but they're just committing to this fully through the orb. Him in his tracks. Playing outside the edge of the pit, Sayonara! That's a dangerous fight to take, but risks that he's willing to make in this situation. Yet another Phoenix ult. Played onto the field, bit of a timing from Fabian here. He has managed to just get inside the pit, and with Izzy denying the ultimate, Fabian's right under their nose. Kron still keeping this one up for the time being, but Eternal Fire in this 2-on-2 with some real potential here if it's not for Profek and Kron.
But it's a Judge and a Spectre in the mix. And not only that, Vitality have some pretty big ultimates here. The overdrive.
Come on, boys! Nice shot, Steffi! Nice, Timo!
Alongside with Sayonara and the rest already in Garden. Yampi applying even further on A, but he's there for the duel, and the Judge has found 2. Could it really end in this kind of a fashion? The pit popped and Vitality down to their second. Fabian there to guard it. So many great moments this game from him so far. Roll rather than a flex is a big statement in itself, of course. His transfer of the off-season, and as you can see with the opening kill here, they start to scale towards the C site. Ordas out the back getting caught. And the Judge, so saying it's sort of a sign of the times perhaps, but things starting to look on the up for Vitality here. Echo walking away with a couple.
Yeah, first map, first round straight back in. Vitality haven't had the best pistol record. We've been seeing that pop up time and time again, but it's nice to add that into their accolades if they can.
Nice,
Pistol round wins.
Come on, boys!
Notice you're going to use that early doors, being on C main, and being a lot of bodies from Vitality heading his way.
Oh, he's actually
Having to get into position for the retake here. Although that's
looking at Yampi's ult, the Nightfall, ready to cut across Waterfall. Gonna connect onto a couple of players, and Profek already finding one of them on the flood back through. Fabian falls, as will Izzy. One by one they drop, and now it's only Neki left. Despite the shots he hit in the previous, this one feels a little out the realms of possibility. Does find his opposite number.
Going to see an early timeout coming through from Eternal Fire. That feels like to me panic buttons being hit just because of Fnatic being in the back of their minds. The brawl, the confidence there.
Oh, complete control through the middle of the map now.
Echo wants to stand toe-to-toe with his opponents, all on site alone, but it is realistically only going to be Yampi here. That's a Nightfall to come through here to
plant. Also, Sayonara low.
Yeah, it's Kron, no, from heaven, and he's only able to get one. That spike is halved, and that's what they're going to try and use to bait out a pick. But how is that? Nobody from Vitality peaked! It's a disaster in the end.
The first fight, and he walks all the way back around through grass. Kron is the second layer coming up in heaven. He gets traded, and behind the Viper wall, I don't know if Vitality
for it. 4 bodies here for Eternal Fire ready to fight A, but it's only Sayo once again, and he can't. In a smoke is Echo with his judge, but himself away. That's the real question as he sits at the back of sight. Derka's ultimate use, but he's completely gone. No value, and that's what Vitality need. They need value, and it comes through Yampi and Chronicle.
Big kills. Time for a lockdown here. Kron gonna waste it instantly.
Oh, but that's from CT. An idea, a jump up, can't hit the shots.
On trying to reinforce that space, give a little bit more room for them to play with. Not expecting Eternal Fire to be taking these aggressive duels, but again,
it's that B site.
Yeah, it's Fabian with the rifle here, but he's so far back on C that it's not really actionable off of these two players. Already Izzy dropped and clear either, just backtracking, could get caught.
Yeah, no rifle. And
with numbers towards the A site and this toxic screen yet to go up, Eternal Fire really in with a shout here now. Neki only on a classic though, his pistols have been good, we need more.
Yeah, we do, we need loads here from Neki.
Doesn't get cleared.
Profek doesn't clear him, it's a massive point here, a swing out.
Just comes down to the fundamentals, really. Player gets a kill, there's a trade, bit of a slip up there from Kron and a couple of ones. In fact, there's probably 3 kills here from Vitality in the round, which they really shouldn't be giving away.
Frustration from the coaches of Vitality, and we're straight back in here. But Dick, great entry through tree, in towards the A side, do go Vitality, a switch up of pace and ready to go. But remember, it's Echo once again on the A side. Able to do it last time, but not here, not now. Showstopper in, set up by the Paranoia, still gets a kill, Fabian. We get out of dodge because Izzy is on the hunt and found it. Big run from Stairs.
Individually, in the fights that they're taking, allowing Echo to reposition. Fabian takes full control of the main side.
Nice and slow and wait.
Gotta clear this smoke.
They try to, and this time Oda, it's not found. Going for the peek, and does at least catch Profek.
Yeah, does Izzy want to fight in front of this? He does! How does he find both?
Because hunting for, but if he does hunt, there's plenty of more Eternal Fire bodies to try and protect him.
And of course, the gun comes back up at the pivotal moment. A crucial turn of the corner as Durka is going to get out with his life. But 3 more players trying to follow this up, and as he'll... Neki and Lobby, this is the spike. Half hopes buried here by Eternal Fire. 3. The only residual is Neki from main.
That's going to be a massive component to this round. Should that Viper's wall drop at any moment in time, players managing to escape in towards heaven. That was Izzy, and there's Neki now from main, like we spoke about. But Vitality have a couple back in the conversation, and still the advantage sits with the attack. Sayonara, Derka completely disconnected from one another.
Bookend the halftime change with a pistol round win, of which they have now found 3 in this series of a possible 4, and this the most important. The options of the B play, but with the Nightfall in, that's the first sign of full commitment. Vitality.
And let's hear how Vitality take on this retake.
Yeah, wait,
Close right and
How much people?
default. Close right and default.
Paranoia side.
One is 10,
Wait.
one is side.
Okay, paranoia side and go out.
On the box, go. Careful, 10s.
10.
One is forward.
What a moment from Ordaz. I mean, the transfer on the first to flick around for the second. Health bars in the red zone. And now, alarm bells truly sounding off. Complicated.
A team of the old, that's what Vitality are. Some of the best that we have had, but this is some of the best. Sure, they've lost Echo here, but look at this, able to fight straight back in.
I mean,
stuck between Nicky and Izzy have that A side to themselves. Izzy even taking a step forward. That spike, but Izzy's already wrapping round behind him. And now Vitality have nothing.
The natural order is being shattered here as Eternal Fire continue to send shockwaves through the region.
Now, it seems if this is going to be straightforward as it comes. Odaz on site. Kron knows about that. He's trying to get away. That Vitality cannot win, and it looks like that could be the case. Showstopper in. There goes Sayonara. There perhaps goes Vitality's chances of winning this one, as the players of Eternal Fire managed to escape the onslaught of utility. 5 on 3, Vitality need to fight back, but they cannot find the chance, cannot find the ability, as Eternal Fire are up to 12!
At C-site hold again. Izzy with full confidence in his own ability here. And just look at the high line that they're holding to these players in CT. Lambs to the slaughter. Prominent problem, but Prophet brings a judge to alter that equation.
And already...
just full B. I think it's B. You've got to be worried.
Yeah, the split coming through. Sayonara in the pit, but he has no way to stay alive. No support either. Eternal Fire want to finish it here and now on map 2. There's no map 3 in this one. Chronicle, a 1 versus 4. Lockdown, been sent in, and he's given this a good go. Second player to head his way.
Okay.
Can't connect the shots. That's just a clutch on the cards. There's a rifle at his feet, but decides he wants to stick it with the Bulldog. Both players sent his way, but it's still Eternal Fire to win. Vitality, a team of the past, but Eternal Fire are the present and certainly the future of this region.